Hello Duelist, Tombox here, and this is a feature match featuring Link Infernity FTK versus True King Dinosaur. On the left, in the blue side, we have myself, Tombox, playing Link FTK, Infernity FTK, and on the right we have Dylan. So both of us are teammates, from the same locals. Big respect for Dylan, of course. And well, I did win the die roll off camera, and I am going first. So why am I featuring this deck? You guys are like, oh man, Tombox featuring an FTK deck. Of course this game is going to be easy. Well, not exactly. Game 1 maybe, but as you can see, the deck can also brick. And this feature match does highlight the bricking right here. Having a Supreme King Dragon Dark Worm. Yeah, the Dark Worm is actually not adding to the situation. Normally you want to foolish him into the graveyard. The Soul Charge does not add very much because I am unable to do very much with that Soul Charge. There's nothing I can do to put cards in the graveyard, and that is a huge, huge problem. Now, one thing to note about Dylan's build of his Dinosaur is that he is not running a lot of Yang Zing, so that's his thing. He only runs the Denlong and the 1/9 pillars, and that's it. There is no Swanee follow-up. That's his build. He did perform fairly well at Seattle Regionals. I believe he finished 18th. Unfortunately, no invite, but he did go 7-0 up until that point. Was it 7-0? Maybe it was 6-0. So I placed the Dark Worm on scale, and because of his effect, I will be able to put another Supreme King Gate monster onto the other scale. So I put the scale 0. However, there is a condition that I cannot Pendulum Summon unless, of course, all the monsters are actually dark. So I don't want to reveal what I have in hand, so I decided to set the Archfiend Heiress, because if Archfiend Heiress is destroyed by battle or sent to the graveyard by card effect, I will be able to search the Infernity Archfiend. And since Archfiend is dark, I will be able to do that Pendulum Summon, even though I can only Pendulum Summon dark for the past turn, but it does give me an extra level 4, and that helps out a lot. So Dylan proceeds to use Terraforming, and one thing that Dylan does know about my deck is that my deck runs 0 hand traps, so he gets free reign on this turn. And as for traps, I didn't set any back row, so there is no fear. There's no fear whatsoever. He can overextend all the play he wants just because he can. Now, both these decks are capable of dishing out a ton of damage, and I believe True King Dinosaur is the one deck that can output basically the most amount of damage in one turn. Now he's checking his hand. He has a Miscellaneous Source still in his hand. The card that he just popped with the diagram was a Miscellaneous Source, and he's going to be adding the Fire True King. I believe it's Agni Mazud. Agni Mazud. Might be pronouncing it wrong. There's nothing much I can do about this with no hand trap in deck. Free reign on a True King Dinosaur deck could potentially be a mistake. Now, here we go. He's going to pop off his other Miscellaneous Source and the Water True King. And he's going to special summon out Lithosagem, the Earth True King. In defense mode, of course. And now he's going to activate his Miscellaneous Source, banishing 2. That's going to give him out the Baby Ceratosaurus. Does he have another copy of Lithosagem in hand? Because that's the read I can see right now. Why else would you get another one? So he does. He's going to pop his Lithosagem, and he is going to pop the Baby Ceratosaurus. That will be 2 Earth, so he can special summon, and of course, as a part of the effect, if you do use 2 Earth monsters, he's going to be able to banish 3 cards with different names in my extra deck, and that's gonna hurt a lot. Well, that's going to prevent the FTK for sure. That's going to prevent, well, it's not an FTK anymore, but the OTK burn combo. So he's going to go with the Gaia Charger because he knows that as a part of the combo, not Gaia Charger, Gaia Saber. The Gaia Saber is one of the key pieces with the Digestor Emerald. So if you take away the Gaia Saber, the Emerald basically becomes a little less effective. And the Proxy Dragon, well, there's 2 copies of Proxy Dragon, so there's no point hitting Proxy or the Firewall. But there are other pieces as well that you can hit because the Xyz, we've got the Zodiac engine in there. You can probably take some stuff out from there, but instead he's going to go with the card that does enable the FTK or the OTK. That is going to be MX Saber Invoker, because that usually summons out the Amazoness archers. And there we go. Firewall, MX Saber Invoker, and Gaia Saber. I should probably play a second copy of Gaia Saber, probably just because of that reason right there. It is very brutal, and I am going to get punished if any. So he is actually going to get the second part of the other effects that of the cards he just blew up and destroyed. So he's going to get himself a Oviraptor from the Baby Sarasaurus, and using Lithosagram's graveyard effect, he is going to be able to special summon from the graveyard another True King that is not Earth, and therefore he brought back his copy of, I believe that is the Water True King. Now I can't memorize all their names. It's maybe it's because I suck at reading. Let's just call it, for convenience sake, the Water True King. And his search with the Oviraptor is going to be Ultimate Conductor Tyranno. He uses the effect of Miscellaneous Source to put the extra dinosaur in the graveyard, therefore he can actually pay the cost, or he can meet the summoning condition of the Ultimate Conductor Tyranno. I believe he's going to go into battle phase and going to go for a massive swing. I think let's calculate the damage here. 1,000 from the Ultimate Conductor Tyranno from this swing. I will get the search since he was sent there by card effect. Alright, awesome stuff, Eris. But I do have a lot of damage coming. I have a 28, a 32, and another 18. I believe that is easily game. Just easily game right there. Yeah, so instant OTK. Wow, that must be what it feels like to be on the other side of the spectrum when you're getting yourself killed up by an FTK and OTK. Okay, well this hand actually looks a lot better on my end. So we're moving on to game 2. Dylan takes the game 1 with a solid OTK. That game was literally just 2 turns. It didn't take very long. And, well, looking at my current hand, I have a Goblinberg, there's a Dark Worm, I have the Scale 0, the Supreme King Gate 0, a Dark Refer, and I believe there's a Necromancer in hand as well. Normal summon out the Goblinberg, and using the effect to attempt to put out another level 4 monster onto the field. No, it's most likely going to be Dark Refer this time. Now the thing about the Infernity FTK that I never really talked about is that if you'd make the FTK, you should always count your pieces, and even if the monsters are useful, they are more useful as setting up the combo first. So I am going to get Ghost Ogred, so Dylan is preventing me from putting up the very first set of Zodiac monsters on the field. Okay, you know, that's fair, that's a fair choice so far. But I believe there are more ideal choices when it comes to preventing the FTK, especially if you have a Ghost Ogre in your hand. But it is a very hard decision to make, because what if they don't go for the burn combo? Instead, they decide to leave a big board of live firewalls, and that's a completely different story. Now, using Dark Reference effect, I am sending the Infernity Necromancer into the graveyard. Therefore, I am also going to be sending the Archfiend Eris into the graveyard, which will activate, and then that will also retrieve for me the Infernity Archfiend. Is it Archfiend or Archfiend? Let's go with Arch for now. I guess it really depends on where you're from. So I'm going to put down the Scale 0 and then play the Dark Worm on scale as well. So that's 0 and 5. The Pendulum summon from hand is still very much live. Remember, if you do try to Pendulum from the extra deck, you will need extra monster zones to do so. So I believe that is the last card in my hand. And I'm going to Pendulum summon the Infernity Archfiend. I'm going to search myself with the Infernity, not Launcher, or is it going to be Necromancer? What is the choice? Now, I feel like I'm very boned in terms of monster count, because right now all I have are 2 monsters, so I am going to go with the Infernity Launcher, which I did send an Infernity Necromancer into the graveyard, and that's going to play a huge role in terms of the monster count to enable the burn combo. So the Infernity Launcher has been added to hand. Here's a quick note, just always activate whatever you can, or set whatever you can, because if you don't, you might block off some of your own effects in terms of Infernity monsters, such as Necromancer, Archfiend, and the like. So I'm going to overlay, This is probably going to be a... I believe this is going to be a Zodiac overlay. Now, looking at the scales, gotta be very careful. The one thing that's very important is that I can't have any cards in my hand. That's the thing. Like, I already performed the pendulum summon, so going into the broad bowl, straight into the Trident right away, using Trident's effect, detach, and Trident is going to pop the Dark Worm. Now there has been a bit of a time skip here because of the camera being wonky, so we decided to just turn on the camera with the same setting. So now I'm going to go into Chalky 9. Chalky 9 is going to special summon that Broad Bowl. This gave me the extra monster required, and now there is going to be an Infernity launcher activation. Oh my god, the noise is back with the man with the cell phone. So activate launcher, sending it to the graveyard, and that's going to special summon out Infernity Archfiend and Infernity Necromancer. And using Archfiend's effect, because I have currently no cards in hand. Now if I did use Broad Bowl's effect, I would have a card in hand, and that would totally suck. And using Archfiend's effect, I am able to give myself a search. Now I can search for myself a Necromancer to probably extend the combo. There's lots of things I can do, but Necromancer is probably the most basic ones to search for. I can even go with Patriarch if I need the extra body. But Patriarch would make a lot of sense because I do need an extra level 4 monster right now. So that is probably going to be my choice. And with Patriarch's effect, as long as I don't control any other cards in my hand except for the Patriarch, I can special summon that card out from my hand, which is very nice. This is kind of like a Bubble Man. It's like Infernity Bubble Man. Now this way I can send 3 cards into the graveyard to perform my first Link summon into the Gaia Saber. And using Infernity Necromancer's effect, I can revive the Infernity Archfiend. Archfiend's effect is going to fetch me a Necromancer. And from here I have 2 level 4s and I have the extra monster to go into the Firewall. So probably Firewall first. Now the Infernity Necromancer is in my hand. That green card in the extra deck is the Dark Worm that was popped off from the Pendulum Scale. And overlay to 2. Into the Daigusto Emerald, and Daigusto Emerald can revive a non-effect monster, which the Gaia Saber totally is. Doesn't have any effects, so it makes sense. Now we can send a Link 3 with a 1, which gives us the second Firewall. And Firewall's effect will activate, special summoning out the Infernity Necromancer. And basically, at this point, the FTK is imminent. This is going to loop into a double Necromancer, into a MX Saber Invoker, into putting out the Amazoness Archers. Basically, kind of watch it unfold. I'm just wondering if Dylan is going to basically scoop at this point, because looking at his hand right now, he has too many traps. His Yang Zing trap is still there. His basically is a one-off trap. Unfortunately, he drew it. He has a Twin Twister, but Twin Twister is obviously, I guess it was meant to destroy the scales, or perhaps bait off the Infernity Barrier. But overall, this is a really bad hand with the Terraforming and the Petit Pteranodon. That his hand does not have any options here. The Ghost Ogre was a nice touch, but it should have been saved, probably for the Archers or perhaps for the Infernity Launcher. But you never know if they're going to play those, because you can actually perform the OTK or FTK without using the Launcher if you have the correct set of stuff. And thank you for subscribing. Mind Blasting. You happened to catch me while I was recording this. Ha! Nice. Alright, so now we're going to the Proxy Dragon and going to the Mirage. The Mirage was searched earlier through the Archfiend, and this is going to special summon out 2 cards. We're going to get ourselves a Necromancer and an Archfiend. Archfiend's effect. I believe I'm just going to search for something random here. I don't want to clot my hand. One of the mistakes about playing this deck is that if you clot your hand accidentally, notice that the Avenger is still in the Avenger is currently still in the deck. However, you're going to need it later if you're going to perform the FTK at this point. I believe there could be another Necromancer available. or I might have already burned it because I did dump it into the graveyard. So Necromancer counting is also very important. I'm going to set the Infernity Barrier. Dylan, being a player that is, I guess, from a newer generation, he is not aware of what Barrier does. Basically, I explained to him, since he does play Stellar Knights, it is Stellar Nova Alpha without the losing the monster. And it's very much free. So there's the MST.TV Invoker, overlaid by the 2 Necromancers. We're going to detach a special summon out the Amazoness Archer. At this point, I'm just going to show him what's going on. He's going to see the combo, he's going to realize what's going on. But then, here we go. So, that basically sets up the full loop. The Firewall Dragons have not activated yet, which means they are able to retrieve the Mirage. So we're going to start off with the burn with the MST.TV Invoker, and probably we're going to burn off the Archfiend with it so we can special summon. So we're going to use Firewall's effect to add back the Infernity Mirage. This is going to burn for 12. Effective Firewall, special summon the Mirage. Effective Mirage, get back to Necromancers, I believe. And yeah, and basically that ends. He scoops that one up. But how am I supposed to kill him? Some of you guys might be thinking, hey, you might be short, but there is a point in the combo where I would tribute off the Necromancer and the Firewall Dragon while I have an Infernity Avenger in my hand, which will special summon it out, and then that one is going to synchro into 100 Eyes Dragon. And from there, it's going to turn into a Mirage and giving me an extra set of burn right there, which would have pushed beyond 9k. So that's where he scooped. Okay, so he's going to start off, and he's going to activate Terraforming. And I allowed the Terraforming to go through, but during the diagram play has been interrupted by an Ash Blossom Joyous Spring. So this is a sided game after all, so going second, gonna need some hand traps to stop the True King Dinos. So one game apiece. This is like the game of trading hand traps. We're going to see a Miscellaneousaurus. Miscellaneousaurus is going to do it for 1 for a Drag YOLO. Oh, his hand is clearly not very good if you actually go into this, because no Oviraptor have been played yet, and with the Ash Blossom out of the way, the Oviraptor would have been free, but he drew into a Giant Rex. That hand does not look very appealing to me. Alright, we're going to see Denlong. Denlong effect is going to allow him to retrieve from his deck a 9 pillars, giving him 1 negation. Now, aside from the Infernity deck being capable of, well, OTKing or FTKing via burn, there's going to be, if you actually check the monsters on board in the previous game, you would have noticed that the amount of damage that this deck can output as well is very, very high. Alright, so he's going to change the level of the Denlong into level 9. Okay. And he's going to set 1 and pass turn, hoping that that 1 counter trap is enough. However, I am able to bait that Denlong with a top deck of a Ghost Ogre. That is not exactly a good top deck, but hey, with the siding, your deck is going to be less consistent. We're going to go with a Raigeki right from the get-go to get rid of the Denlong. That will prevent the, or burn off the 9 pillars. But Dylan does not run additional Yang Zings, and this could bite him. So, Raigeki, he ate it, and now he's stuck with the 9 pillars. So perhaps he could consider using a Swanee in the future, which will keep his 9 pillars alive. But for now, his hand is actually not too bad, if he can actually get a chance to play. So, we're gonna go with a Dragon Shrine. Dragon Shrine is going to send a Supreme King Dragon Darkworm into the graveyard, since that's the only target available at the moment. And I just showed him that I sided out the Amazoness Archer, because you just can't expect to burn him all the time. You want to open with a hand with decent monsters, and so that's why I chose to side it out. Okay, so we get Dark Worm effect, special summon onto the field, and I'm going to add the Supreme King Gate 0. So it's the 0 scale searchable. Dragon Shrine, definitely an amazing card, especially if you can get, like, what, this is what, a +1 right there, just from playing a Dragon Shrine, which gives you a free scale as well, so scale 0. And I believe there is the Odd-Eyes Performable Minotaur, which is also a Beast Warrior, which you can search with Broad Bull, and we're going to see a Pendulum Summon of 2 monsters. So the Infernity Archfiend was already in hand, so that is going to be, well, not enough damage at the moment. We know the back row, but Archfiend is going to be able to get a search. We're going to get ourselves a Infernity Necromancer. Not a launcher, which is a bit strange. Even I can't recall this part of the game. Normal summon out with the Infernity Necromancer. It goes into defense mode as a part of its effect. And we're gonna get into an overlay. There's no real point overlaying into anything at the moment unless I want the extra body. Now Necromancer of course hasn't used its effect yet, so definitely can burn off a few cards here. Now, knowing that my deck isn't exactly very strong in terms of the back row, I am very much afraid of what Dylan is capable of with the Dragonic Diagram, with the cards he has in his hand. So I'm going to proceed to overlay into a Broad Bull. So Broad Bull cannot search because there's no point. It will actually block out my effect. Apparently the glare is really bad, but there's a Trident. And Trident is going to detach the Infernity Archfiend to pop the Perforable Odd-Eyes Minotaur. Or no, it's sorry, it's going to be the scale of the Supreme King Gate 0 instead. This puts the Archfiend into the graveyard, which allows the Necromancer to special summon out the Archfiend. Effective Archfiend. Archfiend has to be very careful now. Right now the monsters aren't looking very good, and there's nothing to really overlay into with the 2 level 3s. That basically locks out the MX Saber Invoker. That just turns into 16 damage, so that's not exactly enough to OTK. And offering a turn to Dylan is probably going to end very badly. So the Infernity Archfiend is still proceeding to get a search. Dylan doesn't have anything in hand to respond, so he's just waiting for me to actually make a move. And I'm going to add the Patriarch to hand. Therefore, this gives me the extra monster to provide me with a rank 4. So you'll be special out. This is a very difficult choice. We're gonna go into the Broad Bull now. Broad Bull is gonna get a search. And we're going to search for the Dragoons of Draconia. At this point, the Patriarch only has 1,000 attack, so that's still not quite enough to deplete Dylan's life points. Are we going to play it on the scale? You have to really think about it this time. We're going to go into Chakinine now. Detach. This provides me with a board full of monsters. 6 monsters all used up. All 6 monster zones available. They're basically all used up now, and now you have to consider what to do next. So this is going to be a 3. This is, I believe this is a scale 3, so we'll start link 3. Link 3 into the Gaia. Now here's a bit of the issue right now. Currently, in my hand, there is only the Dragoons of Draconia. There is no way to extend into a Necromancer reviving the Archfiend at the moment. So we're now going to the Firewall. I'm going to overlay into the Digusto Emerald and just basically aim to push for some damage. So there's 18 and 25 at the moment. I activate the effect of Digusto Emerald. Dragoon's still in hand, apparently. believe I'm searching the wrong pile here. There it is. There's the monster there. Now, do I activate this on scale? Pendulum Summon has already been performed, so putting out an extra monster doesn't exactly do very much. 26, 25... So I'm going to perform a Link Summon immediately. To the Firewall Dragon. Chain Link 1 on the Firewall Dragon up top to special summon. And Chain Link 2 the same Firewall Dragon to add a Necromancer into my hand. And then special summon out the Necromancer from my hand. And activate the scale. Oh, so that way I did manage to retrieve it. I did burn a firewall effect. However, the Necromancer from the graveyard did manage to get special summon. And through that, I get to special summon out the Infernity Archfiend. This is a lot more damage than I think Dylan expected. This is an OTK at this point. We're going to go into a Proxy Dragon now. And from Proxy Dragon... the Firewall effect is going to special summon the other Necromancer that was just added to hand. And then the Firewall Dragon... sorry, not Firewall Dragon. The Necromancer is going to revive the Infernity Archfiend. Archfiend is going to fetch the Mirage. And there's going to be a third Firewall Dragon coming up. Oh no, no Firewall. No, there is going to be a Firewall. Firewall? No. Proxy Dragon once again to put out the Mirage. We're basically over at this point. 25. Dylan has already pointed out that this is way more than enough damage. And that's game! Well then, that actually took a little more thought than I actually anticipated. So, aside from just burning people to death, you can output a ton of damage if you can clear the board. If the board is free, enjoyed that duel, hit me up with a thumbs up if you guys want to see more stuff from MST.TV. And no more of that cringy stuff for now. Maybe I have to rework the format. I'll let you guys know how that goes. But if you guys enjoyed this video, hit me with a thumbs up if you guys want to see more stuff from MST.TV and live duels like this one. Hopefully more exciting ones, preferably, than just OTK, FTK. Well, don't forget to subscribe to MST.TV, and hopefully we've got some cool deck profiles. And PAX is coming up, so some of the upcoming video will be a PAX vlog over the weekend. So maybe I'll see you guys there. If you guys do see me, say hi. Maybe you guys will get something. I don't know. Well, until next time, don't forget to hold on to your MST.TV. Hey guys, thanks for watching. If you like this video, please drop us a like so we know we are doing a good job, and you can also subscribe to MST.TV for more fantastic videos by clicking on the button on the left. Don't forget to check out our partners at Imperium Duelist. They make really high quality mats, including some of my own limited edition release stuff. And if you want to check out one of our past videos, click here on the right. As always, don't forget to hold on to your MST.TV, and I'll see you next time.